Welcome everybody. This is our very last session of the first ever cyberspace Listowel Festival run by the Kerry Writers Museum. So I would like to, on behalf of the Kerry Writers Museum, extend a céad míle fáilte, 100,000 welcomes. And we would like to thank the Department of Culture, Heritage and the Gaeltacht and the Kerry County Council for funding this. And now we're going to have the best crack ever. I want to give you some history on the famous healing hour of the Listowel Writers' Week. Number one, it's the worst kept secret in history. As soon as you arrive for Listowel Writers' Week, you're being told of the secret healing hour. Sure, everybody turns up at it. And the second thing is that it's a healing hour, Irish time. So it doesn't last an hour. It goes well beyond that. We have such a lineup of fantastic Kerry talent for you. And hopefully this will whet your appetite to come to the Listowel Writers' Week in 2021, because we'll need you to come back. And there's nothing like the face-to-face contact, although this is definitely a silver lining. And it has allowed us to extend our hand all across the ocean to St. John's in Canada. And we've had visitors from all over the world. It's been lovely, but we're looking forward to getting back to normal at the same time. I have the famous healing hour bell. Billy Keane lent it to me. If anyone is bold, or if anybody doesn't obey the rules, I'm entitled to throw them out of the pub. So beware and be careful. The first person that's on our list tonight is Neil Brosnan. Now, he's lived in Listowel for most of his life, except for 12 years, which he spent working between Dublin and Cork. From birth, his world was one of traditional Irish music, song and dance. Lucky man. His father, Tim, was a renowned accordion and player and set dancer, and while no session in the Brosnan household was complete without a song from Neil's mother, Kitty, and before that she was Glavin. Unlike his three sisters, Neil failed to reach the family standard as a dancer, so in his mid-teens, in his efforts on the accordion, he suffered the same fate, so he moved to the guitar. In 1983, Neil performed his composition, Apples in the Garden, at the Tipperary International Song of Peace Festival. Many more songs would follow, some of which Neil recorded with his group Rantan. 2004 also marked Neil's arrival on the literary scene when his short story, Freshwater, won the Brian McMahon Award at the Listowel Writers' Week. After the publication of several other stories in various magazines and anthologies, including the success of Last Dance in the Ireland's Own competition in 2006, a collection of 20 of Neil's stories, Freshwater and Other Stories, was published in 2010. If you met him in the pub, he's a pure sound man. I love being in a session with Neil. So now I'm going to unmute Neil. So I'm going to ask to unmute, bear with us a second. And I'm going to ring my bell to say, come in, come in. What's happening? Come in, Neil.
British Maria.
Ah, there you are, there you are.
Alto Road back.
Thank you so much.
I'll do a song for you. I usually kick off the session in John B's with a Chris Christopherson song, but seeing as how I'm on my own couch today, I'll do a Neil Brosnan song. It's a new song I wrote during the summer. I'm sure we all did a lot of reflecting because of COVID and various other restrictions upon us. And I became a granddad for the first time. And unfortunately, I won't be able to see the little lady for some time yet because she resides in Bristol. She'll probably be running around the place before I see her. But it also made me reflect a bit on my own life. And I wrote the song to the best friend I've ever had, who was my younger self. Because without my younger self, I would know, take on. asked my younger self, what were you really feeling the moment you were leaving the only home you'd known? I asked my younger self, was some part of your longing still yearning to belong in the world you had outgrown? Did the road rise up to meet you? Did sunshine pave your way to the freedom of those green hills far away? You missed the smell of rain. Have you measured pain and gain against the life you left behind that day? Someday soon you will ask yourself if things are really as they seem, or if somebody somewhere has seen something else in the silences that mirror what you mean. Will they polish up your chain and give it a new name? Cause the more this world keeps changing, the more things stay the same. I tell my younger self, there is no way of knowing which way the wind is blowing until you leave the shade. I tell my younger self, be wary of the voices that limit you to choices which they've already made. When the tide rolls back against you and rainbows lose their glow, and your oldest friend becomes your newest foe. When tomorrow's looking grey, keep your focus on today, and time will tell you all you need to know. And someday soon you will ask yourself if things are really as they seem, or if somebody somewhere has seen something else. The silences that mirror what you mean. Will they polish up your chain and give it a new name? Cause the more this world keeps changing, the more things stay the same. Carmaga.
Tá fáilte roite cóide, so I'm just